Shalom. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Shai by Hashem Makakudash. Double honors unto the apostles. Double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers. The 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird among the heathen, that look like the heathen, and to the few akwaf that are listening and learning. Right, once again, to my fellow laborers who risk their lives and their freedom to do this work. All right. Now more so than ever. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. And we're going to talk about hypocrisy and how, it seems it's okay that this man on the left can use a scripture that's literally speaking about genocide and use it right before, starting a bombing campaign. All right. But we just read it in the Bible. We're referred to as anti-Semitic and anti-this and anti-that. All right. And it's like this double standard of hypocrisy. But since he went into the Old Testament and started talking about Amalek, it kind of opened up. It kind of opened up this discourse. All right. So let me get the word hypocrisy, because I'm just wondering where is Vocab Malone? Because a lot of the critics came out, his critics came out against him and called how he was using, a scripture that was completely talking about, the genocide of a people. All right. Because what is the difference between what's going on and the apartheid? All right. And I mean, in all honesty, not saying that this isn't an apartheid, just saying, but what is the difference between what they're doing, what's been going on, all right, and the apartheid, all right? I mean, hell, just look at how America was taken. The brother mentioned how large the how large the East Coast is when they took all the first 13 original colonies, all right? But then when you compare that to the rest of America, they weren't satisfied. See, fitting prophecy. When it says he can't, when he would take everything, like the prophecy in Lord willing, I'm gonna read that in Obadiah. But this is looking for the word hypocrisy. Hypocritical, hypocrisy. All right, and this is from the Winston Simplified Dictionary, Encyclopedic edition, 1933, and it reads, I got 1925 behind me as well, but this is 1933, and it reads, hypocrisy, the acting of a part, pretending to be what one is not. Especially the assumption of an appearance of virtue which one does not possess. All right. So, you got a people pretending to be, these people of the Lord when they do everything that's opposite of the Lord, because you can't bring up, how to remember Amalek and talk about the annihilation of Amalek, which they happen to be, by the way. All right. Which proves multiple things, that Amalek is still around. Amalek is not done away with. There's no such thing. Esau is not done away with. The video with the rabbis that they disappeared off of TikTok, with the 25 different rabbis all pointing out that modern day Christianity, Western Christianity, is Edom, and that they're the descendants of Rome, and the Romans in all Europe were Edom. All right. And there's a lot of truth to that statement. But let me get this scripture. Let me get Isaiah 26:10. Let me get that. Because you can't bring out a scripture to justify the annihilation of a people, but then not look at all the other scriptures and all the other prophecies, okay, that identify that are identifiers to fraud, that are identified to falseness, that are identifiers to hypocrisy, that are identifier to false pretenses. All right. All right. But this is Isaiah 26:10, and it reads, "Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of Yahweh." And in the land of uprightness, they're not doing righteousness. They're not dealing unjustly. It also proves that the wicked is in the land of uprightness, just as the prophecy said. You know, when you go to the book of Zechariah, we're getting to the good part now. When you get to Zechariah 9:6, it reads, "And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines." Okay, so it said a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Okay, now I'm going to go to the I should have pulled it up, but I'm going to go to the Webster 1933 thesaurus. Okay, and look up the word bastard. All right, I like to put the book on the screen when I'm reading from it, but I didn't. I just remembered, I didn't do that, so I'm not gonna stop the video to do that. My background video of all the carnage and the death and the war, which definitely World War III has begun, and it's not gonna pull back. The Lord prophecies are being fulfilled. The Lord is drawing the least of the flock, is drawing them out, and He's drawing them into the valley of Jehoshaphat so that they can all be dealt with. But this is the word bastard, okay? In the Webster 1933 thesaurus, all right? And it reads, illegitimate child, love child. Then it gets over here, fraud, fake, phony, sham, falseness. All right? So fake, all right? Phony, sham, and falseness. Okay? Those parts of the word bastard is left out of all modern day dictionaries. All you find in there is illegitimate child. Okay? And this wasn't talking about that because Esau wasn't an illegitimate child. All right? All right, when we're talking about the wicked, the Bible identifies the wicked. As a matter of fact, let's get that. Let's go to Job 9:24. And it reads simply, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" All right. Well, the Bible just said in Isaiah 26 that the wicked is in the land of uprightness. The land of uprightness is the land of Israel. All right, let's look at some more clues in prophecy. All right, something that they've been ducking and dodging up until this point. The rabbi even said that the Lord's, he mentioned Isaiah 63 and how the Lord is returning to destroy Esau, or Esau. And so we know who's been the rulers of the world. All right, the people on the screen. Okay, this is Daniel. And the earth was given into their hands. All right, Daniel 9:24. I just read it. I mean, not Daniel 9:24. Daniel 4:17. That was Job 9:24. I want Daniel 4:17. "This is the matter by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the bases of man." So he took the lowest of men, which are the wicked, which are the Edomites, all right, who gained power through Alexander of Macedon, who was an Edomite, all right, and they took over all of Asia, all right, Western Asia, and North Africa, all of Europe. Okay? And they ruled all the way up until the fall of Rome. And then the Dark Ages, because the Dark Ages began because the so-called Negroes took over Rome, and they also took over most of Europe at that point for 1,000 years. Hence, when the Edomites were pushed up into the Caucasus Mountains and became the wild men, the wildlings. All right, on their belly they went. The curses kicked in. All right, but then the dragon came back. The dragon that was wounded but did not die, and came back into power. All right, in the late 1400s, early 1500s, the Renaissance, which means rebirth, the rebirth of the eagle, the rebirth of Edom. Then they tried to whitewash all the history that happened during that 1,000-year period of the Dark Ages in the medieval time. All right, and then when they show you ancient history, from the time of the land of Israel and etc., all the way back to the Greeks, they try to show you from the time when Alexander of Macedon and his people took over. They don't like to show you before that. All the brown, melanated people who were ruling. They'll say that society started with the Greeks. But, all the Greeks did was took all the things that the brown people before them did and just remade all their images into what you refer to as white people today. They didn't do anything originally except for create weapons. That was their blessing, the great sword. That's how they got the dominion. That was a blessing that they got from Isaac. All right, so through falseness, these bastards, through fraud, through fake. All right, as a matter of fact, we're going to look some of those words up, and then we're going to go right back into the scriptures. All right, all this relating to that Zechariah 9:6. So let's go to the word false. Let's look that up. And it's a collection of words, because you got false and falsehood, falsetto, false work, falsification, falsify, falsicity. All right, so I'm going to probably read a little bit of them all. False. All right, and this is all from the Winston Simplified 1933. All right, encyclopedic edition with biblical references. False, from the Latin, deceive, not in accordance with fact or reality. All right, because it's funny how the JOOs wear all black to try and make themselves line up with Jeremiah 14:2. All right, okay, and then how that word black really, and that word was printed in English, was put in there when they could have easily put the word swarthy there, because that was the way you describe people in complexion. So they wear all black to try to match. You see on the screen, they wear all black to try to match the prophecy, but it didn't say Judah wears black. It said that they were, meaning they would, and the word there in the Hebrew is kadar. Why is that ignored? Why is that removed from the JPS versions of the Bible? They completely removed their black unto the ground from the JPS, the Jewish publication, from their books, because I actually have one. But on the other side, when it's written in the Assyrian script, and that's a whole nother argument, all right, because the house of Judah never used the Assyrian script. They used the Paleo, the Phoenician form of Hebrew. So that's a fraud, a fake, a phony, a falseness, a pretense, bastardized, lie in itself. All right. Everything about these people is screaming they're not the people of the Lord. All right. And these talk points in the Bible, well, you can do nothing against the truth, only for it, because the more they use scripture, the more they condemn themselves. All right. So the next one, it says, let's go to falsehood. Lack of truthfulness. Misstatement with intention to deceive. Lie, untruth, like when he spoke about Amalek, as if he was trying to extenuate or as if he was trying to put that on Ishmael. All right. Then he doesn't talk about all the killing and beating and mistreating of Israel, of Ishmael, that makes them retaliate against the Israelis. All right. They don't speak about that part. They defend it as if it's not like South Africa. If it's, like I said, what's the difference between what's been going on in the land of Israel for the last 75 years as compared to what went on in South Africa. What's the difference? As more and more, Palestinians die violently, because I've seen images all over Instagram of dead children, small children. It's actually quite sad. All right. It really is. All right. And no one wants to see, babies dying. Either way it goes. That's just wrong. That's just outright wrong, regardless of who's doing it, But it's pretty sick to see it. And then for him to use the scripture to justify it. And then for them as a people collectively, well, I won't say all, because some of their people are protesting this. But all the people in that government and some of the extremists among them are applauding this. All right. False work. Any temporary structure built to support work in process or construct. Okay. Well, that wasn't a good one. But now, I'm glad I read that. All right. So a temporary house is a false house. It's a false work. Okay. All right. Falsification. Misrepresentation. Wrong statement. The act of making false as by alteration or disproving. All right. So they alter. They even change the meaning of words to hide truth, in different things. Because all this comes down to the controversy of Zion. All right. That's what's going on. All right. The controversy of Zion and the fact that you got a people in the land. As Isaiah 26 has said, that the wicked is in the land. And the wicked is Esau, Edom. That's why he's identified in so many scriptures when it comes to being in the land of the Lord upon the return of the Lord. But now the next one is falsify. It says false, to make or prove to be untrue, to change by fraudulent means, counterfeit, forge, a lie. All right. So when you try to say that you're the children of Jacob, when you're really the children of Esau, as they say, I'm saying it like they say it. All right. Which the prophecies prophesy that Esau would have the Holy Land, would have the high places. They would say, aha. All right. Fraud, and because going back to that Zechariah 9:6, that's talking about the city of, basically the port city of Tel Aviv. So the Bible prophesied that there will be a fake, fraudulent, phony, an imposter in that land. All right. Last one is falsicity. It says the quality of being untrue, untrustworthy. Wow. Falseism. All right. Okay. So let's go back to the scriptures now. Let's go to Isaiah 34 and 8. And these scriptures are going to keep coming out because this is the time that we're in. And this is what's happening. While you got, agents leading, young, impressionable camps to pull up, all these prophecies are popping off. All right. All they're doing is just, making it easy for us to be demonized. Those guys just. But anyway, this is Isaiah 34 and 8. It is what it is. For this is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and it is the year of the recompenses for the controversy of Zion. So for the controversy of Zion, as you're looking on the screen, the armies of the world are being pulled to the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right. So that the Lord can, matter of fact, let me just get it. That's Joel, the 2nd chapter, like verse 2, or 3rd chapter, actually. Verse 2, Joel 3 and 2, and it reads, and I will gather all the nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. See, yet another prophecy in Scripture telling you that the land of Israel has been parted, and the Israelites have been scattered, and they haven't come back yet. Because the prophecy says that when Israel goes home, all weapons will be destroyed. There will be peace on earth, and all the nations of the world will come to would come to the land of uprightness to learn the law. So all these other religions, and so you're not going to be afraid and have to go to war after you go home. And then you ask them the simple questions: where's all the other tribes? All right, where's King David? When the Israelites go home, King David sits on the throne. All right. Let's look up the word pretense and falseness. Let's get those last two. Pretense and fake. Let's get those two. Pretense. It says, putting on of a false appearance in order to hide what is real. Right? Like using like writing, and using the Assyrian script of Hebrew when you're the house of David. And I've looked, very, very carefully to find relics and evidences of the house of David using the Assyrian script, and there is none. All right? When Jerusalem fell at the hand of the Romans, all the coinage from the time period was all of the Phoenician form, the Paleo Hebrew. So the fact that they even used that, and I'll tell you why they did that, because there was too many books and too many authors and too many people who were already making the claim that the natives, see that writing behind you? The Lord always gives you an example, that the natives in the Americas were writing and speaking in broken Hebrew, but they were using the Phoenician Hebrew. They weren't using, even though they were in the Assyrian captivity when they came over here. All right, and that happens to be in some Jewish almanacs and encyclopedias as well, that the rabbis identified America as Asareth, but that would have made it too easy to point out who they were if the Jewish people were writing in the same language as the Native Americans. So they had to switch it up. All right, because then they wouldn't have been able to justify the apartheid regimes that and the genocide that took down all of the Americas. All right, they wouldn't been able to justify it with Judeo Christianity. If wait a minute, these people are Jews, they're Israelites, they wouldn't have been able to justify it. All right, so let's go back to the because in Ezekiel 36:5, it tells you that the Edom would appoint the land of Israel to himself. All right. And so all this evidence, all this biblical evidence and prophecy, they won't be able to ignore it for long, but not for much longer. But here we are back in the Webster thesaurus. Not Webster, but Roget's, the Roget's thesaurus. All right, dictionary form. On page 185, we got the word fake. And here we go. Fake. Pretend, make believe, simulated, pretense. Wow, we just looked these words up. False, bogus, fictitious, falseness. All right. Definition 2. Faker, bluffer, bluff, make believe, pretense, fraud. Ooh, check this out. Bastard, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Phony, sham, falseness. Next one. Dissimulate. Feign, like a feint, when you fake a punch and then throw a kick instead, or vice versa. All right. Counterfeit, fabricate, sham, falseness, pretense. So this court hereby finds you guilty in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and destruction is going to come to the house of Amalek and all of Esau. So with that, I'm going to say, Kwam Yasharala, call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.